race is on to the snap presidential election, right? And the pledges are now coming out left and right. And as this is going on, Busan is looking to revive the Global Hub City special legislation with a recent forum with local politicians and business leaders. Busan, and by extension, 부울경, are a powerful constituency that have been swing votes in past elections. And it's time to use this power to demand solutions and answers to many of the regional questions that have been left unanswered from both sides of the aisle. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Friday, April 18th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Goodness, I do want to say today is Friday, but it's kind of a special Friday for all of us here on Morning Wave in Busan. It's kind of bittersweet because it is the last day of the current season. So I do want to remind you that we're beginning our revamped spring season on Monday. So yes, it's a little sad saying goodbye this past week to certain people, but you know, spring season, it's coming. All right, so our topic today, primary race. The races are underway for both major parties for the June 3rd presidential election. And as this is going on, different regions and provincial governments are also busy trying to get their agenda under the national spotlight. And this includes Busan, which has a long list, including the Busan Global Hub City special legislation, relocation of the Korea Development Bank, the KDB, and also the Ga덕 Airport. So Busan City and the Busan chapter of the People Power Party, or PPP, held a discussion forum with local leaders earlier this week to focus on the Busan Global Hub City bill. Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun and Representative Lee Sung-kwon called on the Democratic Party to pass the special legislation. The Democratic Party, or DP, has presented a route to the North Pole as a platform to appeal to the Southeast region, which the PPP criticized as ignoring local calls. Many local issues do get politicized depending on which side is backing their respective issues, as, you know, that is the nature of politics. That's what happens in any, you know, political situation. But given what local economies and populations look like, it's important for regional leaders to present a unified voice and push for regional interests as we head into this presidential election. So that is our main story. Now it's time for a text topic. It is fully spring. Spring is so here, right? And we want to know about your best spring spots, whether it's food, fashion, you know, where to go to eat. And if possible, you can send in your most spring-like photos via our KakaoTalk account. All right? 점점 따뜻해지는 날씨. 오늘 딱 일어났는데 정말 봄이다 이런 느낌이 있었어요. 그래서 여러분의 봄 사진, 봄 핫플, 제철 먹거리, all the spring food, so delicious, like the 미나리 out there, 공유해 주시고 사진은 카카오톡으로 보내주시면 됩니다. So you can send all your responses in to BEFM's live stream, live chat on YouTube. So go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find our channel. You can subscribe and log in and chat with our other waivers. Also on your phone, pound 9050 샵 9050, and that's going to cost you 100 won. You can reach me, like I said, through our KakaoTalk account as well. Type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find us. And today, especially, to send in your photos. The ways you can listen to us on the radio if you're in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's, once again, on the radio if you're in the Busan area. YouTube, streaming live right now. You can also watch again at your leisure. Available on two apps, the BEFM app and the Papang app. And you can listen to the Wagle segment on the Papang app. Looking ahead to our final Friday morning together, at least for this season, we have Casey. With foreign press highlights, we have Vasana with What in the World. And for a special interview, you may have heard of this, that Harvard University becoming this kind of focal point of this political clash after Harvard refused to comply with demands from the Trump administration. And the administration responded by freezing over $2 billion in federal grants. So there is a lot to unfold with that story. We're going to get into the details with our expert coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with today's headlines. It's now 7:06. These are today's headlines. Government reduces 2026 med school admissions to previous level. Education Minister Lee Ju-ho apologized to the public for raising concerns about a potential setback in medical reform and warned that this will be the last time the government will grant such special measures for medical students. State auditor reports economic data manipulation during Moon government. The Board of Audit and Inspection, or BAI, said that the previous Moon Jae-in government fabricated official data on the economy and real estate for nearly 4 years to make the public believe that its real estate and economic policies were effective. BOK holds key rate steady amid week 1 plus Trump tariffs. The Bank of Korea, or BOK, kept its benchmark interest rate steady at 2.75% yesterday in a bid to support the Korean won and ensure financial stability, while adopting a cautious stance amid heightened uncertainty from Trump's tariffs. Ukraine says Russia plans on deploying North Korean soldiers to Ukraine. A Ukrainian security official has claimed that Russia is planning to deploy North Korean soldiers on Ukrainian territory in the ongoing war between the two countries, dressing them in Russian uniforms. U.S.-Japan tariff talks end without breakthroughs. Trump meets with Italian Prime Minister. U.S. President Donald Trump's trade negotiations continue as he hosted Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni following a meeting with a Japanese envoy where little progress was made. And these are today's headlines. It's time for Busan Updates. We have Sue here. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you feel spring? It's
yes.
So here, right?
It's so warm this morning.
It is. And so that is why we have our text topic, spring. Do you have any favorite spring spots, whether it's like restaurants, places to go on a romantic stroll, places to take photos?
Stop, Catherine.
Stop. You're stopping me.
You know where I am right now. So
where are you?
No romantic restaurant spots. But I would say my favorite, one of the favorite spring foods is sukdeok. You know, mugwort rice cake?
Yes.
Because my granny used to go out in the field and then she would pick them out.
She used to care the mugwort.
Yes. Soup. And
Yes.
then she would bring it to the 떡집 and then
fresh.
make rice cake out of it. Yeah, I really miss it. Yeah.
You know, yesterday, coincidentally, a neighbor gave me some sukdeok and I was smiling on the outside. I'm allergic to suk.
Are you?
I can't eat suk. That was one of the things that popped up on my allergy test. But, you know, and now, as an adult, I realize why, like, I never liked suk. It was just my natural reaction to it. Like, my body saying stay away.
Good to know.
근데 그 향이 있잖아요. 너무 좋은데. I can't eat it.
진짜 좋아요.
So mugwort, but no romantic strolls.
No. Just with my husky.
Husky.
It's very romantic.
Yes. If you say so.
I protect him. Not him protecting me, so.
Love it, love it. I if you can, send in a photo of your husky later.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the planned opening of the 자갈치아지매 market in June. So it was supposed to be in June, but apparently it's not happening.
Yes. A store lottery that was supposed to decide which vendors would move in was canceled because hardly anyone applied. Only 2 out of over 200 eligible vendors signed up, and even both of them later withdrew.
Oh, really? And so what's the reason?
The Merchants Association is boycotting the move-in, saying that the facilities aren't ready and the fees are too high. And they are especially concerned about weak water pressure, inadequate cooling systems, not enough restrooms, and missing freight elevators. And they argue that moving in now would hurt their businesses.
Okay.
And they want the city to fix everything first.
Well, we need to get the city's side on this as well. So what does the city say?
Well, they see it differently. Officials say that the issues aren't serious enough to prevent opening and improvements can be made after vendors move in. They also point out that some of the concerns like water pressure won't be a major problem, especially since some stores like dried seafood vendors use less water. And the situation is drawing criticism from both sides. Some blame the city for not being better prepared, especially since the project has been in the works for over a decade.
Yes.
And others think that vendors are being unreasonable, noting that many of them operated illegally for years without paying taxes.
Yes.
And now they're rejecting a taxpayer-funded building that is meant just for them. So for now, the city plans to go back to the drawing board and work out a new timeline after more talks with the vendors.
Well, I definitely hope that between the city and the vendors that they can work something out, because who's losing out? I mean, the consumers, us, right? Next up, we're talking about our city going to extend the 50% toll discount on Gwangan Bridge during morning commute. So they're extending it by 1 hour.
Yes. I know you commute on Gwangan Bridge.
Yes. Every day.
So this is for the weekday morning commutes.
Yes.
And Busan City Mayor Park Hyung-jun has proposed a revision to the city ordinance related to toll roads, which will be submitted during the temporary session of the Busan Metropolitan Council starting April 21st. Currently, the discount period runs from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yes.
With the change, discount time will start at 6 a.m., giving drivers a full 3 hours of reduced tolls.
Yes.
And last year alone, over 641,000 vehicles used the bridge between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m.
I see. Well, is there anything else we need to know about this?
The evening toll discount hours from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. will remain unchanged.
Okay.
And currently, tolls for small vehicles are 1,001 normally, and it is 501 during discount hours.
Yes.
And large and special vehicles pay 1,501 normally and 801 during discount periods.
Right. So
And if
what
this
else?
proposal is approved by the City Council's Construction and Transportation Committee, the revised ordinance will be passed on May 1st and take effect starting May 26th.
Yes.
And according to a city official, commute times have become more varied because more workplaces adopt flexible work schedules, and the city wants to ease the financial burden on drivers with this toll discount.
Right. So I do want to clarify. So it used to be, or right now it's 7 to 9, so they're extending it from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So that extended hour starts at 6 a.m. Next up, empty homes in old downtown will turn into dormitories and sports parks, right?
Yes. The city has selected 4 final sites for its empty house infrastructure project following evaluations by a public-private committee of housing and architecture experts. The project aims to purchase empty houses and turn them into facilities that benefit the local community.
Yes.
Specifically, 2 vacant homes in Yeongdo-gu district in Dongsamdong and Cheongak-dong will be remodeled into dormitories for international students. And there are 2 more in Sujongdong, Donggu district will be demolished and replaced with a sports park featuring fitness equipment. And these vacant homes were considered high risk due to potential collapse or criminal activity. And the city officials stated this is the first project in the region to transform vacant homes into public assets for community infrastructure.
Yes.
So it could become a new model for improving residential environments.
Oh, indeed. So this is definitely something that we can look forward to. And moving on to our last bit of news, the city is going to support this unique dessert business idea with marketing assistance. What is this?
So Busan City and the Busan Economic Promotion Agency announced that they have designed unique desserts as this year's promising small business sector. And they will select 10 local dessert businesses to receive specialized and joint marketing support. And this initiative has been running since 2017 to help foster distinctive local brands through both online and offline marketing efforts. The unique dessert sector is known for its creativity and appeal to younger generations, especially MZ generation. And it has become very popular across the country.
Yes, well, I like the idea, but how's the city going to be helping these businesses?
So selected businesses will receive up to 7 million won in customized marketing assistance, such as brand design improvements and participation in exhibitions.
Sure.
And in addition, joint marketing efforts like online promotions and flea market events will also be offered to further boost the industry. And applications are open from tomorrow to April 30th. And can be submitted through the Busan Small Business Support Center website.
Yes.
And for more information, visit the support center's website or contact the Busan Economic Promotion Agency.
That's right. Well, you know, like I said earlier to all the waivers out there, this is our last day of the current season. So we're going to say goodbye to Sue. This is her last Busan Updates. However, she'll be returning to our show in a different capacity, right?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on air with us. And of course, good luck as a new newscaster, right?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, you're still part of the team, so.
Yes, I'm not leaving completely. So
In just a different regard, yes. Well, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report right now. It's 7:17 on this Friday morning. There's an accident to report on. It's on Baegang-daero from Danggam to Jinyang intersection. In that direction, there's an accident right in the middle of Jinyang intersection. And a cargo truck has broken down on Byeonglo going into the city around the Wondong ramp. There's congestion on the Dongso overpass from Hwangyong ramp to the old Gaegeum toll gate. Also, it's backed up on from Manduk intersection to the Namhae Expressway right near the Deokcheon ramp. As for the weather, it is slightly windy, but very balmy, very warm. We're already at 16 degrees Celsius. It's going to go all the way up to 22 today. Warm across the nation with daytime highs as high as, in certain areas, 29 degrees Celsius. That's like summer weather. Looking ahead to the weekend, a warm weekend with daytime lows of 15 degrees Celsius and highs around 20 degrees. That's both for tomorrow and Sunday. However, there is a chance of rain from Saturday night into Sunday morning. This was your traffic and weather.
Are you an early bird? Are you up to date on the news? Are you a trendsetter? For all of the biggest issues from Busan to the world and useful information you need, right here on Morning Wave in Busan.
It's time for News Digest. We have Haley here.
Good
Haley,
morning.
it's our last day with our producer.
Ooh, can we get her in trouble?
However, 오늘 방송 사고
She
치고
told
갈까요?
me, she told us just moments ago. She's like,
해라,
하고 싶은
해라,
대로 다 해라.
다.
And I was like, do whatever you want. And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, except for dancing.
There's a caveat.
Do you not know what whatever means? Do
Yes.
whatever.
Hey, so before I ask you about your everything related to spring,
Sure.
Tommy apparently sent him some photos from his room controller's birthday yesterday.
Happy belated birthday, room
Yay!
controller. Happy 25th.
네, 사모님 축하드려요. So this is a photo.
Ooh.
So what?
We can't
Try to see
see.
what did they eat?
I think it was Japanese fine dining is what he said.
That's what he said
on-
yesterday.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice,
Ooh.
fancy.
Wait, so did you
점점
take
커지고
time?
있습니다.
Wait, did you take time off of work to spend it with her?
I don't know.
That's really sweet.
I mean, I'm assuming it was during like lunch, maybe an extended lunch.
Also, sir, your plate is empty.
Yes. He already ate it.
Do you not know to take the photo before
Before.
you take a bite? It's like, 잠깐만. Wait. Guys.
Those are the basics,
Yeah.
Tommy. Before.
Yeah.
Always before, not after. Anyhow, let's get into your spring
Yes.
everything.
I too, with my green cardigan.
Yes.
Thank you. It's very springy. I too have photos. Okay, I need to give my producer some
Some time.
because this is outdoor season, and my farmer tan is just gonna get tannier and tannier, and my tan lines are just gonna be there, and I'm gonna embrace it because when the sun comes out,
Yes.
Haley's also out and about.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
I am. So my favorite spring food, strawberries.
Strawberries.
In all the forms. So
Uh-huh.
can we get the photo up? Is it ready? And
Yes,
cute.
there you go. Ooh.
Okay, so from the
Explain.
left, I think the left one is poppies in Gyeongju, although that's later spring, early summer. That's like right by Cheomseongdae. And then second one is in Kimhae. See, strawberry shortcake. That is
Ooh.
seasonal food. 제철 음식 아닙니까? 그렇죠. And then the third one is 유채꽃. It's in Namji, right? In your Changnyeong. It's about an hour drive from here.
Yes.
And then the final one also Kimhae. It is at the Yeonji Park. Yeah, great nighttime. But cherry blossoms are gone, but the double petal cherry blossoms
Yes.
are in season.
Ooh.
So yeah, yes.
And by
There
the
we
way,
go.
Leslie, I love her message. It's related to Tommy's message. My family is so used to me taking pictures. They pause eating their
Yes.
meals without thinking now. So always take before you eat.
And
I mean,
then,
that's a
right,
given.
you always do the 팔초, and then you move your arms. I don't want any part of you on the table.
Oh, 팔초, that's so nice. I was like, 비켜. Get out of the way. Anyhow, we got to jump into some news
We
because
do.
we are a news show, supposedly. So our first story, Busan issues reflected in the upcoming presidential election. So another major issue in Busan is, of course, the airport. So what do we know about the candidates' positions on this issue?
Right, so I'm going to take that issue from our top story, what you just talked about in the opening, to the airport in Busan. So first, starting with the People Power Party, the former chairman Han Dong-un, who visited Busan last weekend.
Yes.
And one of the stops on his trip was the Gadeok airport site. So Han emphasized that construction must go according to plan and on schedule, which means opening by 2029.
Yes.
He also vowed that the party will do its utmost to turn this Gadeok airport into a world-class one, not only for passenger travel, but also kind of this turnaround, a watershed moment for Bulgyeong's development.
Yes, and so the Democratic Party, the DP, is said to be looking into a related issue as well, right?
Right. So interestingly, this is the party's Policy Organization Institute. It is looking into shutting down Kimhae International Airport and moving that function to Gadeokdo altogether.
I see.
Again, keep in mind that this is a review from the Policy Institute, not an official campaign position by any of the three candidates, but it could lay the foundation for the party's position. So if this plan were to come to fruition, Gadeok would run both the domestic and international lines. Right now, the plan is to have Kimhae kind of serve a similar function as Gimpo Airport in the capital area, domestic flights, and Gadeok being in charge of all international. But why? The gist is to use the money from the property sales of the Kimhae airport site into adding another runway, another tarmac at Gadeok. Here's the problem, though. With these plans, the opening date of Gadeokdo could be delayed because then they would need to build another domestic wing. Also, if you think about it, if you're flying domestic, why would you do that? You want to cut down on time. But
from pretty much Ga덕do is not a completely accessible part in Busan compared to Kimhae. So if you are going to fly domestic, would you really want to travel on land about an hour, half an hour to an hour into Ga덕do just to fly out? Those are issues that need to be considered.
Yes, yes.
By the way, according to Democratic Party's Busan chapter, nothing has been confirmed. Candidate Lee Jae-myung, one of the candidates, Lee Jae-myung's camp also drew the line that this is a policy institute's opinion and nothing to do with the camp's position.
I see. So very much a local issue, very important to us. Up next, though, we're going to talk about the Bank of Korea freezing its benchmark interest rate, right?
Right. Let's get to the reasoning behind it. As you said, the Monetary Policy Board froze a key lending rate at 2.75%. The top reason, the currency, 환율, because the $1 currency rate, it's better, but it's been fluctuating wildly in the past month. So the BOK also lowered the rates in February. So now there's a 1.75% gap between the U.S. rates and the Korean rates. And whenever there are too big a gaps in the rates, that could lead to the devaluation of the Korean won.
Right.
원화 가치 하락 and hurt the currency rate further. So experts say that this decision, it shows that the BOK is looking at the currency as the top priority that it needs to rein in at this point because number one, because we do export a lot of things from abroad and the dollar is the international benchmark.
Yes.
Too high of a currency rate could raise the price of imported goods and then the devaluation of the Korean won, Korea being such an export-driven economy, also not good for the economy.
True, true. And this comes as global financial authorities. They're actually warning about the impact of Trump's tariffs once again.
So that's right. So this comes from the U.S. the U.S. Central Bank itself. So Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell on Wednesday local time, he issued a stark warning that Trump's policy changes, including the tariffs, they are unlike anything in modern history. The tariffs are significantly larger than anticipated, and also lingering uncertainty around tariffs could inflict lasting economic damage.
Yes.
This is first such stark terms from the Fed chair. He also expressed concerns that tariffs are putting the economy on a path toward weaker growth, higher unemployment, and higher inflation all at the same time. And due to the nature of his job and the agency that he heads, this is a big concern because the Fed is responsible for promoting high employment, controlling inflation, and the tariffs are threatening both of these goals.
Yes, yes.
So the thing is, though, Trump did not take this kindly and called for Powell's termination and said that this couldn't come quickly enough. Powell has about a year left in his term, so we'll see if that leads to any significant changes.
So, Powell, though, he isn't the only one with concerns, though.
Right, so we're going to expand that to the World Bank and also the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. They held their spring meetings, or they will hold the spring meetings coming next week. The World Bank's president told reporters uncertainty and volatility are undoubtedly contributing to a more cautious economic and business growth.
Yes.
Also, the World Trade Organization projected slower growth for world economies under the tariffs, especially for North America, the U.S. being a major economy there. Total global trade projected to now sink by 0.2% compared to a 2.7% growth forecast without tariffs. So we're looking at 2.7 now down to 2.5.
So that's what's going on in that realm. Up next, we have updates to the areas damaged by the Gyeongbuk fires.
Right. So initially, the Korea Forest Services, KFS, projected or estimated the affected areas to have been across 5 cities and counties. 45,000 hectares, and this is in Gyeongbuk alone.
Yes.
However, after a government's joint survey, the actual area has pretty much been doubled to 90,000 hectares. Again, it's double and also 4 times the damage from the 2000 Donghae wildfires, which were until now the worst fires on record.
Yes.
And it is actually unprecedented for the estimation to be off by such a large margin.
Right, you say so. Now it sits at almost double. Why, though? Why were the numbers so off?
Right. So first, we have to look at how these damaged sites are estimated and calculated.
Okay.
So the initial numbers we always get during a fire fire is 산불 영향 구역, areas estimated to be affected by the fires.
Sure.
So this is the landmass that's just within the line of fire. 화선 안에, 불의 선 안에 포함된 면적입니다. But then what we're getting now, the 90,000, that is 피해 면적, the actual damage areas, which is confirmed after the fire has been put out.
Yes.
But what's really odd is that the estimation is much higher because they are just lumping together all the landmass inside the line of fires, and sometimes some parts are not burned.
Yes. But this time it's the opposite of what you
Right.
just said. Actual damages are much higher than the estimation.
That's right. So this is why some experts are saying that the estimation method may be problematic. This will have to be looked at by the Forest Services. The Korea Forest Services will confirm the exact figures at a later date. By the way, tentative numbers looking at the property damage, that is coming in at 1.1 trillion won. The authorities were actually supposed to wrap up the survey by earlier this week, but had to extend the period by 2 more days because so many reports were coming in.
I see of the damage. I know the numbers were incorrect, but just the damage, the lives lost, this is just going to go down as one of the worst tragedies in terms of fire. For a final story, though, we're going to talk about gender equality here in South Korea.
Right. Gender equality awareness actually regressed. It went back for the first time last year. And this is based on the 2023 National Gender Equality Index by the Gender Equality and Family Ministry. So Gender Equality Index came to 65.4 last year. That's out of 100. So we're getting a solid D. And this is down by 0.8% from the year before.
Yes.
The score has been increasing ever since this index was implemented back in 2010. There were some fluctuations when the methodology changed.
Yes.
The Gender Equality Ministry did explain that the criteria did change in 2022, so it's really hard to compare the figures at face value. And some of the questions on the survey are up to subjective opinion, so it's also harder to pinpoint exact causes.
Where did the country, score high, and in what areas did the country score kind of low?
Right, so perceived gender equality was the highest in education, with 95.6% being the index. So most people thought we're seeing not much difference between boys and girls, men and women in education.
Okay.
Also in health, 94.2. Big drops when we come to third place, issues of wages. Now we are at the 79.4 field. Also related to employment, hiring, 74. Gender equality awareness at 73. So we're kind of in the 70s for these issues.
Yes.
And then when we look at care and decision making, it plummets to 32.9 and 32.5 respectively.
Okay.
In particular, when we look at specific categories, stereotypes on gender roles within family, 가족 간의 성별 고정관념, that dropped hugely by 16 points. Why all of a sudden?
Yes, all of a sudden.
COVID. So experts say that this could be attributed to 2023 when the survey was taken, getting the residual COVID influence when daycares, kindergarten, schools shut down.
That's true.
Somebody had to take care of the kids, and it was usually moms having to take time away from work to do this.
Right.
So yeah. And before we wrap up, I do want to get quickly to the regional breakdowns because it speaks volumes about Busan.
Yes.
This is a 4-tier system for the 17 metropolitan cities and provinces. Areas with high scores, 서울, 대전, 세종, 충남, and 제주. This again is about gender equality perception. Mid to high tier, 대구, 광주, 강원, and 전북. Mid to low tier.
Okay.
I know. 인천, 경기, 충북, and 경남.
I didn't hear Busan yet.
Which means we are in the lowest tier with Busan, Ulsan, 전남, and 경북 in terms of how residents here perceive gender equality.
I see. Not
great.
Good.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling on Friday to be in that lowest tier. But thank you for going over all the news and for another great season. And of course, Haley will be back next season. And of course, in hour number 2 as well. So
I will see you soon.
thank you, Haley.
Thank you.
All right, we're due for our first song, but here it is, Waka Waka by Shakira.
losing your battles. Pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over. The pressure's on, you feel it, but you got it all, believe it. When you fall, get up, oh, oh, and if you fall, get up, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa, cause this is Africa. Samina, mina, eh, eh, waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa, this time for Africa. Listen to your dad, this is our motto. Your time to shine, don't wait in line. Y vamos por todo. People are raising their expectations. Go on and feed them, this is your moment, no hesitation. Today's your day, I feel it. You pave the way, believe it. If you get down, get up, oh, oh. When you get down, get up, eh, eh. Tamina, mina, sangalewa, this time for Africa. Tamina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Tamina, mina, sangalewa, anawa, ah, ah. Tamina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Tamina, mina, sangalewa, this time for Africa.
I'm well on my journey, biggie, biggie mama, 1 A to Z. Bati so sell on my journey, biggie, biggie mama, from east to west. Bati waka waka my waka waka my Tango since summer zibuye, cause this is Africa.
Samina mina, anawa samina mina, samina mina, anawa
Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa, anawa, ah, ah. Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa, this time for Africa. Jungle, eh, eh. Jungle, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa, anawa, ah, ah. Jungle, eh, eh. Jungle, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa, anawa, ah, ah. This time for Africa. This time for Africa. We're all Africa. We're all Africa.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, if only I could tell you what was going on behind the scenes, off camera, because we had a dance-off between Haley and Sue. But our producer said, no, not for the YouTube streaming, just for her own personal pleasure. She was filming the whole thing. So anyhow, let's get into our text topic real quick. I'm asking you about your best spring spots, food, fashion, and of course, we're asking for photos that you can send to our Kakao Talk account as well. And so what comes to mind when you think of spring? Well, I'm going to send in my photo as well during one of our song breaks. So a lot of people right now are talking about the fact that it's really beautiful outside. I see Benny sending in some photos as well. And Michael actually was packing his daughter's her lunch today. So it looks like, looking at the photos, it's difficult. It looks like kimbap with sausages. And the fact that you're taking the time, there we go, that you made this for your daughter, that is so cute. What a good dad. It looks really yummy too. 소시지는 딸이 직접 잘랐어요. And we're not going to post her photo for, obvious reasons nowadays. But she actually cut the little sausages up. That's so sweet. Thanks for sharing that photo, and we'll get more photos up in just a little bit. But we got to get to Kat's Pick for this Friday. The whole world is talking about Trump's tariffs, but how is it affecting American consumers? Well, South Korea and K-beauty really, really popular these days in the States. So let's listen to a clip from CBS News.
South Korea is looking at an even bigger import tax hike. And in tonight's In Depth, CBS's Jerika Duncan reports on the impact to U.S. small businesses that sell South Korea's high-demand cosmetics.
Our e-commerce have been backed up for 2 weeks now. And it's because of the tariff, yeah.
Marie Del Rosario is a store manager at Senti Senti in Brooklyn. It's a skincare store selling items you won't typically find at other retailers in the U.S.
This is just from yesterday, actually. So.
Almost all of the serums and creams here are imported from South Korea and Japan. Last year, the U.S. imported over $7.5 billion in cosmetics. South Korea tops the list. But that country could face a new 25% tariff if President Trump's plan moves forward.
I swear by my Korean skincare products. So
part of the boom in
showing
sales is thanks to influencers.
My entire routine is basically all Korean products now.
The customers that we have here, they come here with a purpose.
And they've seen your store on social media a lot of times.
Most of the time, it's because they've seen us on social media.
Oh, okay.
Carrie Kiken is shopping for herself and her sister, who lives in Seattle.
So she sends me like a whole list of things that she wants, and then I ship them out.
They are panic buying. They know that it's coming. They know that everything is going to change. So they buy multiples of the products that they love.
Most popular item is this sunscreen. How much is it?
$17.99.
Right now?
Correct.
But it could go up.
Probably over $20.
And that worries the Personal Care Products Council. It's a trade association that represents over 600 brands. It's specifically concerned about trade policies that could result in higher prices for personal care products, adding consumers use anywhere from 6 to 12 products every day, including sunscreen, toothpaste, shampoo, moisturizer, and fragrance. For now, stores like Senti Senti are preparing for the worst, meaning customers will ultimately have to make up for any potential losses.
So once again, that 25% tariff, assuming that he goes through with it after this 90-day pause, is definitely affecting consumers in the States right now. This whole idea of panic buying. In Korean, we call it 사재기. So that might be what's happening for certain products right now. This was Cat's Pick, the final Cat's Pick for today and for the season.
Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Wave in Busan.
Even before the mic goes up, we have a hi, Casey from Benny. How are you?
Hi.
We have Casey in the house.
Is in the studio with us?
No, all the way from the Philippines.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Benny?
Benny.
Benny and the Jets? I don't know. Sorry, I'm a little old. That was an Elton John reference. Oh, boy.
All right. So it is for this week anyway, for this season, the final Foreign Press highlights.
How do you feel about that? You okay?
I'm okay with it.
You okay?
Because I know you're coming back next season.
Am I? Yay!
I was like, oh.
Oh, wait.
Like,
do we not know? Oh.
Yeah. No,
okay,
Casey's
cool. I'll
back,
see you next week. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, so we're fine.
Yeah.
So.
I wonder how the Philippines is right now, weather-wise. It's
I
probably
don't know.
really warm.
Benny, let us know.
Yeah, I was just thinking, are you on a beach right now?
It's so warm today. Like compared to, a couple days ago.
Yeah, the last couple. Yeah, yesterday was like London weather.
And windy.
That's what I'm saying, right? I was what?
It was insane.
Yeah. What season
my
is
hair
it now?
was blowing all over the
Go ahead.
The place.
I'm not jealous.
Okay.
I'm not jealous. That's the one time I'm not jealous.
Hey, when you think of spring, like what do you turn to? Do you have like special foods or something that you really enjoy just in spring?
Oh, yeah. I mean, besides like, you know what? That's the only time of year I actually like actively look for flowers. Oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm excited about it.
That's true, because we had such a long winter, right?
Yes.
Oh, too long.
Yes, and it keeps it's like creeping back or something every now and then. Every day it seems like, is it going to be cold again today? Yeah, so I actually really look forward to seeing flowers on trees and stuff. And,
Aww.
yeah.
That's so cute.
I take pictures too. Follow me on Insta.
Yes.
Just kidding.
All right, let's get into foreign press highlights. Stories about Korea from the perspective of foreign outlets.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on this week, but I tried to find some stories that perhaps weren't, all headlines all week.
Yes.
So this one was one that was really interesting to me. This is from the South China Morning Post, which is from Hong Kong and China as well. So South Korea's new visa to resolve labor shortage faces backlash. And this is the first I've heard of this. I don't know if you've talked about this.
There's backlash.
Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. So according to the Ministry of Justice, there's something called the E74R. Good luck remembering that.
Yes.
But basically what this is a region-specific skilled worker visa, also a mouthful. But the idea is this is designed for foreign nationals who have been working in particularly government-designated regions where they have a really big problem with falling populations. So this is targeting a lot of areas outside of the Seoul region.
Yes.
So they're hoping that people go there and stay there and work there, right? Is the idea. As of Thursday, however, as of yesterday, there is a petition calling for the abolition of this E74R already, and it has more than 72,700 signatures.
Oh.
Yeah, and this was just posted on the National Assembly's petition site on March 20th. So in what is that, a month? Nearly the space of a month.
Right, and I have so many questions. First
Yeah.
up, will this petition be taken seriously? Because, to me, 72,000 signatures, that's pretty significant.
It is. It's significant enough. So by law, apparently, if any petition gets more than 50,000 signatures, the parliament has to review it.
I see.
Yeah.
So they met that threshold.
Right.
What's the reason for the petition?
I guess according to this article, there are concerns that if there are an influx of migrant workers, it could threaten jobs for Korean citizens.
I see. Taking away the jobs.
Which is, as an American, this is something that you see in the media a lot.
Yes,
This is a familiar story.
But now we're talking about in Korea.
Right.
So how does this visa work?
Okay, so this visa, actually, the specific region-specific skilled worker visa only applies to people who hold E9 or E10 visas, and E9 is for non-professional workers, as they say, and E10 is typically just for maritime workers, so ship crews and things like that. So it's already kind of a limited range of visas, and the idea is if they stay in one of these specifically designated areas by the government, if they stay there for at least 2 years, if they meet certain skill requirements, they will become eligible to change their visas to this new E74R. Okay, so what's the benefit of that? This would allow for a longer stay, so a longer extension of their visa, the possibility of inviting family members to come live in Korea, and potentially an easier path to permanent residency.
Yes. So, and this is where it's the sensitive issue.
Of course.
How does this threaten the job of Korean citizens?
Okay, so the article explains it this way. They actually give the perspective of the original petitioner of the petition on the website. It goes by the surname Nam. According to this person, the E74R visa would greatly expand the influx of foreign workers into the country. This is likely to result in job losses for many already struggling Korean workers, particularly in small and medium-sized businesses, in the manufacturing and service industries, where increased competition could lead to job losses and lower wages.
So that is according to the original petitioner.
Right.
But is there evidence that this could happen?
Okay, so there is kind of coincidental timing of statistics that have come out. So according to Statistics Korea, the number of Koreans that are neither working nor looking for a job have actually exceeded 500,000 for the first time this past February. And according to the petitioner Nam, policymakers behind efforts like this new visa scheme should bear the blame of that.
I see.
According to Nam, currently many young people are discouraged from entering the labor force due to low wages and poor working conditions. If increasing the influx of foreign workers without solving these problems is tantamount to overlooking the opportunity for the Korean workforce.
Yes.
In other words, improving the treatment of Korean citizens and creating stable jobs for them should be a priority before bringing in more foreign labor.
Yes,
foreign labor.
Indeed. So, do people agree with this assessment?
Well, this article quoted Kim Jun-sik, who is the honorary chairman of Asian Friends, which is a Seoul-based immigrant advocacy group. And according to Kim, the petitioner's argument is not entirely without merit. He's correct to point out, I guess it's assuming it's a he, is correct to point out that there are some industrial sectors where Korean citizens and foreign workers do compete. Construction is one of those areas.
I see.
However, in many other sectors, such as farming, fishing, certain types of manufacturing, it is difficult to find enough citizens willing to work. So he's only partially right.
So maybe in one particular sector,
Right.
yes, it may be
An
accurate.
issue. But in others,
not so much.
it sounds very similar to me. I've heard in other countries.
Oh, of course. Like in the States too,
Right.
people complaining about migrants or immigrants
Taking jobs,
but
and
then
then-
you always ask, but are those jobs, like if they were available to,
American citizens.
would you really want to take them is the big question. And Leslie has a question too, but the influx of foreign workers, does that not increase the possibility of increasing the birth rate? Because that's always an issue that's like always making headlines here as well.
Sure.
So it's an important, question or point.
And actually, a lot of the articles that we've talked about that
Yes.
specifically have talked about how that is a major solution for Korea. If people aren't having enough children, you have to find ways to bring more people into the country. So
Yes.
this does go hand in hand.
Indeed. Well, thank you for the first story. Now let's move on to our next one. What's it about?
Okay, so this is also kind of about relations with other countries, but in another way that I was kind of surprised to see that was reported slightly, but not as much as I expected.
Okay.
So this is from Time Magazine, which is an American publication. The headline is, South Korea establishes diplomatic ties with Syria's new government.
Oh.
Peeling off another of and they mean North Korea, North Korea's dwindling allies. So this is I was surprised this wasn't reported as much as it was.
Okay.
So basically what happened was, did you talk about this throughout the week? Okay.
No.
So last week, South Korea's foreign ministry said it established diplomatic relations with Syria's new Islamist government.
Yes.
And, this is kind of fast because this is only months after a rebel coalition got rid of President Bashar Assad.
Yes.
Who had previously maintained close ties with North Korea.
Indeed.
So on Thursday, last Thursday, not yesterday, the South Korean foreign minister Cho Tae-il actually traveled to Damascus to sign a joint communique with Syrian foreign minister Assad al-Shabani, establishing formal diplomatic relations. This is a move that the South Korean ministry said opens new opportunities for bilateral cooperation previously hindered by Syria's close ties with North Korea. So in other words, this is a big policy change.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what will this new relationship entail? Because, when we hear about Syria, at least, in days past, we don't know exactly what to expect.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of uncertainty in the country and other countries as well, kind of watching to see what will happen. So during these talks, Cho did convey that Seoul is very willing to support Syria's reconstruction efforts. They had a 13-year civil war. There's a lot to reconstruct. They said this is a process that could eventually involve South Korean businesses and also perhaps to expand humanitarian aid to the country. The foreign minister in Syria, al-Shabani, welcomed this prospect of South Korean contributions to the reconstruction effort and also expressed hope for Seoul's support in easing international sanctions on Damascus.
I see. So pretty, big deal for Korea?
A big deal for Korea, definitely a big deal for Syria as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out more, you can check out that article that Casey just told you about. And we're going to end it on that note. Thank you for another wonderful season. I love all the stories you choose. So
Thanks, Kat. Thanks, Kat.
No, because so on point, because stories about Korea that, from a different perspective, we need to look at, the same story from so many different angles because we don't want to be pigeonholed into just one side of the story, right?
That's right. That's what we're here for.
Yes. Well, thank you. And of course, we'll see you next week. Thank you, Casey.
See you next week.
And with this, we have photos from Benny. This is Laguna Province in the Philippines that we're going to post right now. So those are the images that our producer's posting right now. Do we have the photos? Yes? Okay. So they're coming up. And here is Smeraldo Garden Marching Band by Jimin featuring Logo, dedicated to Leslie from Benny. So enjoy. So once again, this is Laguna Province, as I said, in the Philippines, as Benny has sent in. And this is actually because of long few miles from Manila and hometown. And so this is what it is.
Let's go.
I love you, baby. I love you, baby.
Yes, sir.
I want you, baby. I wanna hold your hands. I want you, baby.
반대로 fade away. 매일이 새롭게 이름 부를 테니 너는 피어나기만 해줘. 우리가 맞춰 잼해. 느낀 대로 계속해. 바로 앞에서 말 못해도 널 위해서 made a bit. I've been looking for love, just for you. 빨라지는 속도 난 못 멈춰. 날짜도 없이 하루 종일 머리 위에 네가 떠 있어. 혹시라도 손대면 난 톡톡 하고 터져버릴 듯이 커져 love.
눈부신 하늘과 흩날리는 꽃들도 함께 할 거야. So tell me how you feel. 그저 느낀 그대로 너를 맡겨봐.
Let's go.
I love you, baby. 다가갈게 너에게. I love you, baby.
Yes, sir.
I want you, baby. I wanna hold your hands. I want you, baby. 음악이 오르고 조명이 켜지면 모두가 제자리에 And turn up the music 준비된 것 같아. 시작할게 1, 2 somebody wake up.
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
부산의 축제 어디까지 즐겨보셨나요? 과거와 현재, 미래가 공존하는 항구도시 부산. 이곳 부산은 계절을 물들이는 다양한 축제로 늘 풍성합니다. 봄의 시작을 알리는 봄꽃 축제부터 부산의 여름을 만끽하는 바다축제, 전 세계 영화인들이 모이는 부산국제영화제와 새로운 시작의 해맞이 축제까지. 부산의 축제는 우리의 열정을 가득 담고 있습니다. 바쁜 일상은 잠시 뒤로하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산, 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Did you know that an average person in South Korea uses more than 10 kilograms of disposable products a year? While convenient, it does weigh heavily on the environment as they take up to 500 years to break down. Here is how we can cut down on disposable products. First, use tumblers and mugs instead of plastic or paper cups. When you go grocery shopping, bring a reusable bag so you won't have to ask for a plastic one. At home, instead of reaching for single-use paper towels or wet wipes, use rags and towels. These small steps for the environment can have a big impact on planet Earth. This campaign was brought to you by BEFM Busan 영어방송.
김밥가게 박 사장님도, 문구점 김 사장님도, 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고 발전 협의회.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Good morning, Dynamic Busan.
Yeah, you're waking up. Time to shake it up. Tell the world good morning and find out what's going on.
Well, hi there, folks.
There's everything from comedy to lively chat to music.
Broadcasting from a room about the size of your closet.
All calls are recorded. What show is this?
Live from Korea's dynamic city, this is Morning Wave in Busan.
I'm sorry, who'd you say you were?
It's now 8 o'clock. This is News Highlights. Government reduces 2026 med school admissions to previous levels. The government yesterday announced the medical school enrollment quota for 2026 as 3,058, the same level as 2 years ago, in an attempt to resolve a 14-month standoff with trainee doctors and medical students. Education Minister Lee Ju-ho apologized to the public for raising concerns about a potential setback in medical reform and warned that this will be the last time the government will grant such special measures for medical students. The Korea Alliance of Patients organization denounced the decision, saying that it was devastated by this reversal. The Korea Health and Medical Workers Union expressed woes that the government's decision will slow down the momentum for medical reforms. State auditor reports economic data manipulation during Moon government. The Board of Audit and Inspection, or BAI, said that the previous Moon Jae-in government fabricated official data on the economy and real estate for nearly 4 years to make the public believe that its real estate and economic policies are effective. The BAI said Cheongwade and the Land Ministry violated the Statistics Act by ordering the Korea Real Estate Board, or REB, to provide housing price statistics in advance and snubbed the REB's request to stop the provision 12 times. The opposition Democratic Party yesterday said that data manipulation is impossible and condemned the BAI's investigation as violent and coercive. BOK holds key rate steady amid weak won plus Trump tariffs. The Bank of Korea, or BOK, kept its benchmark interest rate steady at 2.75% yesterday in a bid to support the Korean won and ensure financial stability, while adopting a cautious stance amid heightened uncertainty from Donald Trump's tariffs. The decision follows a 0.25 percentage point rate cut at the previous meeting in February, which marked the third reduction since October 2024, when the BOK began its monetary easing cycle for the first time since August 2021. BOK Governor Lee Chang-yong compared the situation involving Trump's tariffs as suddenly entering a dark tunnel, adding the authorities are choosing to slow down and wait until things brighten up. Ukraine says Russia plans on deploying North Korean soldiers to Ukraine. A Ukrainian security official has claimed that Russia is planning to deploy North Korean soldiers on Ukrainian territory in the ongoing war between the two countries, dressing them in Russian uniforms. The official posted the claim on a social media account arguing that Russia would claim that the North Korean soldiers are fighting on Russian territory as defined by the Russian Constitution. The remarks suggest that North Korean troops could be deployed to the Russian-occupied regions of Ukraine, especially as Russia is now in the final stage of pushing back Ukrainian forces from Kursk, possibly raising the need to assign new roles to them. U.S.-Japan tariff talks end without breakthroughs. Trump meets Italian Prime Minister. U.S. President Donald Trump's trade negotiations continue as he hosted Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni following a meeting with the Japanese envoy where little progress was made. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said that there are still gaps between the respective stances of Japan and the U.S. after being briefed on the talks in Tokyo. Ishiba also admitted that negotiations going forward won't be easy. In the meantime, Italian Prime Minister Meloni said that Trump had accepted her invitation for an official trip to Rome, and Trump boasted that he will have little problem securing an EU tariff deal. And this was News Highlights. It's time for Wag Waga. Haley's back.
Hello, the final Wag Waga for the season.
I know we keep on prefacing it. It is, a kind of, I keep on saying, I don't know any other word but to say bittersweet. I'm kind of a little sad that the season's coming to an end, but also looking forward to the new season as well.
Yeah.
So mixed feelings.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll have some new voices, but trusty old ones will come back.
Yes, indeed. Haley will be back. No worries there.
I'm staying.
For our first story, we're going to talk about this fatal gun-related incident or accident here in Busan.
Right. So we often don't hear about any gun-related issues in Korea, but one did happen here in Busan this week. So it goes back to Wednesday where there was an accident at a police gun training range in the city, and this has led to the death of a police officer.
Yes.
So according to Busan Metropolitan Police Agency, this officer in his 20s was training at the 19th stall or aisle out of 20 inside the gun range as a part of the police regular training.
Yes.
And according to the authorities, he suddenly bent his arm to look at the pistol chamber, 약실, of the handgun, and then he fell over. The gun was a .38 revolver. He sustained a head wound and he was rushed to the hospital. He was unconscious at the time. He did not make it and died at 4:15 p.m. that afternoon. So upon this, the police have suspended all live fire training for other officers and they are investigating this case.
Such a tragedy, but thanks for reporting on it. We're going to move on and talk about this clip that went viral online, and it is raising issues about sanitation and hygiene at bakeries.
Ick is all I can say.
Yes.
Ugh. Right.
Yes,
so
yes.
have you ever walked into a bakery? We often do. We like our pastries. And then found the bread and the pastries displayed out in the open.
Yes.
No covering. What do you mind? Do you not? Do you care?
Well, the thing is this. I know myself, so when I am anywhere near the pastries and baked goods,
right,
like if I even feel an inkling of anything like a like I run for the door.
Right,
That's how I am.
Right.
So I would expect people to have like the same etiquette and manners because some bread needs
sweet
to breathe.
That you think that. It's very naive that you think that, but okay.
Okay, I want to be optimistic. Yes.
Definitely a glass half full person.
Yes.
I mean, I always am of the camp. I'm probably the grossest person of the whatever public pool that we have right now. So I'm like, whatever. I'm probably grosser. But I know when I see someone with like around the bread,
right.
and I'm like, all right,
move.
wear a mask, move, leave.
Yes.
Well, in one case, we kind of wonder if there's any dust on that bread. In this case, a child's saliva. Chim. So this is a viral video online that's been going around for several days of a child sticking his tongue out and licking a piece of pastry. Ta-da!
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's cute, but what he's doing.
We
The kid's
protected his
really
identity.
Cute, but
Yes.
what he's doing is
It's
really
really
not.
gross. Yeah.
And this is a well-known bakery in Seoul. The video was taken by a foreign visitor, and the reason I say this is online, the original video, because in my case in the States, there's a different sense of portrait or image rights.
Yes.
So people will post videos of other people's faces out in the open, which is what this person did. So we've
Yes.
covered up the face. And if you are listening to us via radio, you see the child sticking out his tongue, licks the mound of powdered sugar on top of a pastry. And it's incited this whole discussion about putting food out in the open without any covers.
Yes.
So social media users say that this is so unsanitary.
Oh, right.
And the reason that the bread is out in the open, it is for the sake of social media photos because they do photograph better. But that anything can get on the food, including dust, bugs, fruit flies, and, well, in this case, saliva. And, people do sneeze and will talk.
Yes.
So there have been issues previously with mostly children touching the food because they don't know better. But
Yes.
also from the consumer standpoint, you don't want to buy that. Other users, though, say that most of the popular bakeries that use this method, they have their baked goods out in the open. As you said, some of the bread needs to breathe,
Yes.
especially if it's fresh out of the oven.
Exactly.
It needs to cool. And it could be a sign of freshness because the bread will go stale if it's
Yes.
out in the open for too long. So the bakery is confident that they'll have a fast enough turnover. It won't.
Okay, so this bakery in particular, I hear, made some changes after this viral incident, right?
Right, so which is why I'm bringing the story here now, because we have at least kind of a happy conclusion. The district office where the bakery is located apparently made the request/recommendation to the bakery to cover it. Why is it a recommendation?
Yes.
Well, bakeries are not legally required to cover their products. However, the district said, given the issue of consumer trust, it is going to keep recommending to not only this business, but
Yes.
others in its jurisdiction to please cover their products.
Yes, yes. And so where do experts fall on this issue?
It depends on what you're concerned about.
Okay.
So even if a bakery cleans rigorously,
Yes.
thoroughly, if the food is out in the open, there are going to be pollutants or contaminants
Of course.
in the air. Doors open, customers come in and out. There's stuff on the clothes.
Dust.
So you have
Yes.
fruit flies, dust, germs that can spread with people just breathing around it.
True.
Right. However, other experts, once again, depends on what you're concerned about. If your concern is food poisoning, not likely was the
okay.
answer. Because usually in nature of bread, it's baked straight out of the oven and displayed immediately. So basically there isn't enough time for the pathogens containing food-borne illnesses, viruses, or bacteria to propagate and spread and
Yes.
breed. And that's why it's hard to put a legal justification behind requiring bakeries to cover their goods. So
I
that's
see.
where we are.
So you likely won't get food poisoning, but just beware of what you might be ingesting.
Right, right.
Vasana says, try before you buy about the little kid.
Ew.
Oh, no. And Souvenir says, 훈계하고 급빵을 사야.
Yeah, I mean, immediately when you see that, you go, oh, 죄송합니다, and then you pick
That's
pick
what
that
I would
up.
do. Do you not?
Yeah, God, I hope so.
Oh, gosh.
But then,
what if the mom or dad don't know?
Exactly, because
모르면
the kid's
어떡해요?
like down there. So what if they didn't see it?
But then once again, try to
Again.
keep a good eye on your
Right,
kid.
right.
Yes. Okay. On to an international issue. The French are being forced to cut back on things like shampoo and other hygiene costs due to cost.
Right. And I
Really?
do get questions from my Korean friends like, do people not wash their hair every day in the States? I'm like, it depends on what kind of hair
Okay.
you have.
Yes.
But this is not by choice. This is out of necessity. So a survey by an international firm said that 49% of French people are worried about the cost of living to the extent they're making cuts on everyday products like shampoo and body wash. So 41% felt anxious about falling into poverty. So this
Right.
is quite a serious issue. And 5 out of 10 French citizens are reducing their consumption of shampoo or shower gel. 1 in 10 stop purchasing basic things like tissues and toilet paper. 8% also gave up on buying toothpaste. So yeah.
Really?
Right. So
Oh my
things are
gosh.
that bad. 33% of female respondents said they gave up on makeup products and 27% hair dye.
Yes.
And why? Because 17% of respondents said they've experienced a situation where the choice was between buying food and hygiene products.
Oh my goodness.
Right. 24% of respondents chose not to replace toothbrushes often. 22% save toilet paper, and so on and so forth. So again, the economy right now is really hitting people hard.
Oh, wow. That's pretty stark right there.
Right.
And doing a 180 from people struggling with day-to-day finances, let's talk about the chairman of a well-known car company looking to build a private tunnel to his vacation home.
What the rich will do. So we're talking about Wolfgang Porsche, or Porsche, depending on how you pronounce it, but Porsche, it's that company. He's an 81-year-old chairman of the supervisory board of Porsche. In 2020, he bought property, a vacation home in Salzburg, Salzburg, Austria. It's a $9 million property, 12 billion won. It's located on the let me try this. Kaputzenberg Hill, which was home to Mozart. So it's historic, beautiful landscape there. Well, the scenic hill. Pros and cons of living on a hill. I do. My property is my property. The place I mooch off of is nowhere near
property.
Near 9 million won. Property is such an overstatement. But pros and cons of living on a hill. Great views.
Yes.
You got to climb that hill is the con. He didn't want to.
Oh.
Well, I guess if you own
do you have a car?
Well, that was inconvenient because the road approaching it is quite narrow. So his proposal of a tunnel, 500-meter tunnel with an underground garage connected to it would be built underneath or beneath a mountain to provide improved access. Can you do that? He thought he could because the city's former mayor of the Conservative Party approved the plans, but there's been a changeover in the administration. And some council members, including members of the Green Party, they've been putting on the brakes here, and protests are taking place across the city. Some activists unfurled a banner on the hill reading, and Porsche said, "Let there be a hole." Like, let there be light.
Cake.
Yeah, let there be cake, or let there be light. So kind of really critiquing him for taking this almost godlike attitude. Also, Salzburg Municipal Council, they're expected to vote on the issue mid-May. So will there be a tunnel? Won't there? We shall see.
I don't know. I
did wish for an elevator to take me up that hill, but I wouldn't, but then I'm so plebeian. Wouldn't dare to think about building a tunnel.
We're going to leave waglwa글 there for today. And of course, so we'll check in with you next week. So thank you so much for this entire season, Haley. So any last words?
I'll be back.
Yes, she will be back. All right, let's get into your traffic and weather. Here's what's happening on the roads right now. A car's broken down on Bunyeonglo going out of the city right around the Banyo tollgate, the old Banyo tollgate. There's also some congestion detected on 중앙대로 from Yangjong intersection to Songgong three-way intersection. It's backed up on Gwanmun대로 from Chwacheon overpass to pier number 5. Also, looking slow on Dongso overpass, the Chure ramp to the old Gaegeum tollgate. And lastly, it's also congested on Yeonsuro Mangmi Hill to the Shilli three-way intersection. As for the weather, it is a nice, kind of warm 17 degrees right now. It's going to go up to 22. However, depending on where you are, it might even go up to 29 degrees today. Looking ahead to Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow and on Sunday, you can expect similar temperatures, a low of 15, a high of 20. However, there is a slight chance of rain from Saturday night into Sunday morning. Please be aware of this. This was your traffic and weather. Here it is. 뜨거운 안녕 by Toy.
오늘은 모른 척 해줘
말처럼 잘 지낼게 가끔 들리는 안부에 모진 가슴 댈 수 있길 어떤 아픔도 견딜 수 있게 소중했던 내 사랑을 이젠 안녕 사랑하게 반짝이는 눈동자여 사랑했던 날들이야 이젠 안녕 달빛 아래 타오르는 붉은 입술 떠난다면 보내드리리 뜨겁게 널 품에 꼭 안고서 처음 뵙는 사이건데 이대로 이 세상 모든 게 멈췄으면 좋겠어 수줍은 너의 목소리 따뜻한 너의 체온 이 순간이 영원하라 이 밤이 지나면 잊을게 너의 말처럼 잘 지낼게 앞만 보고 달려가자 바보처럼 울지 말자 너를 위해서 나를 위해서 소중했던 내 사랑을 이젠 안녕 사랑하게 반짝이는 눈동자여 사랑했던 날들이야 이젠 안녕 달빛 아래 타오르는 붉은 입술 떠난다면 보내드리리 뜨겁게 행복한 모습의 이유 언젠가 우리 다시 만나도 온통 스쳐갈 수 있게 멋있게 살아줘 뜨겁게 널 보낸다면
Welcome back. So people were like asking, like, oh, is this song an ode to what's happening today? Yeah, a little bit of a goodbye there. We have some photos that I want to share. Lily in all her glory. This is from William in San Francisco, and he writes, favorite springtime images from San Francisco Peninsula and Angel Island on San Francisco Bay. So look at her. She's like the most blessed animal ever. I mean, I'm so jealous of Lily. I would love to have, William, taking care of me as a dog. He's happily married, so no misunderstandings. I love you, William, but in a very platonic, friendly way. Yes, Pam, his lovely wife. But they have an array of animals, and Lily is just one of them, our resident mascot here in Morning Wave in Busan. So thank you for sharing. I haven't seen Lily in a while, so I was getting worried. Also, I have another set of photos that somebody sent in, and they're spring food photos. So let's take a look first. Ooh, so the left one is, cold noodles, perfect for spring. Look at all the veggies. And on the right side, that is a salmon rucola pizza. It was so good. And I say this because these are my personal photos that I took from about this past week, actually, from last weekend going into this week, meals that I shared with my sister. Shout out to my sister. And, you know, the foods I posted, the reason being it's spring. I love lots of veggies. So... and then somebody texted it. 돈가스 봄 음식 맞나요? 아니 그 왼쪽 거를 보시라고요. 채소가 많잖아요. Yes, it was so delicious. But anyhow, we're going to get to our special interview because we want to know what's going on between Harvard and versus Trump. So here we go. Harvard University has become the focal point of this political clash, some might say, after refusing to comply with demands from the Trump administration. The administration responded by freezing over $2 billion in federal grants and threatening to revoke the university's tax-exempt status. So President of Harvard, Alan Garber, rejected the demands, asserting that they violate constitutional rights and the university's independence. And so in response, other elite institutions, we're talking about, Stanford, Columbia, Princeton, they have rallied in support of Harvard. So why has Harvard decided to stand up against the Trump administration? Let's find out. We have joining us once again is Professor Grant Reeher, Senior Research Associate in the Campbell Public Affairs Institute and a Professor of Political Science at Syracuse University's Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs. Welcome back, Professor.
Hi, thanks for having me back on your program.
Absolutely. So, the Trump administration asked Harvard, if I'm not mistaken, to end diversity programs and allow what they're calling viewpoint audits. So first of all, if you can explain this a little further and maybe get into what these requests really mean.
Yeah, well, this is a very, very complicated situation. And the viewpoint audit part of the letter from several different departments in the federal government to Harvard was one of the stranger aspects of it. And it was one that I noticed right away. What they're basically getting at, and I want to try to boil it down for your listeners if I can. Hopefully this will clarify and not confuse. But
yes,
there are some big fundamental principles about academic freedom and free speech that are involved here. At the same time, however, you have two actors in this, the Trump administration and Harvard University, neither of which are telling the truth about themselves. And so it gets complicated. But what basically the administration seems to be asking for here is for Harvard to have more diversity, political diversity, in its faculty and in its students and in its programming and what it teaches. And there is more than a kernel of truth to the idea that there's a problem at Harvard and at pretty much all other elite or semi-elite private institutions and many public institutions in the United States. At the same time, there is a real issue of should the Trump administration trying to be dictating what Harvard does in terms of intellectual content and what it does in terms of its ability to express the opinions of the faculty, the opinions of the students, and so on. So there's big issues involved here, but there is a lot of other things involved here as well. And Trump has made he has been not bashful about saying that he's very antagonistic and suspicious of a lot of higher education in the United States because he feels like it's too liberal, it's too left.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for explaining the backdrop of what's going on because it was kind of complicated. So if we first look at what Harvard is saying, Harvard claiming that these demands would interfere with academic freedom and violate constitutional rights. So, you obviously are part of a university as well. So maybe you can explain why not just this university or, any university might see this as a threat to some of its core values.
Well, sure. If you've got a political institution, in this case, a presidential administration, reviewing actively what it is that your faculty are saying, what they're teaching, what your students are saying, what they're writing, and what the administration is doing, then obviously that not only casts a chill, but a real serious incursion on your ability to pursue, you as the institution, the people in it, the ability to pursue research and to follow things where they may take them, and to report on what they find, and to express their own opinions when they feel like it's necessary to do so. And so all of those things then become under threat. You're looking over your shoulder constantly to see whether your funding's about to get pulled.
Yes.
And so I think as much as anything else, what the objection is to here is the tactics that are being used. It's one thing if a president were to come out and say, look, I think Harvard's too liberal. I don't think there's enough conservative voices at Harvard. Both of those things actually probably are true, by the way. It would be one thing to say that. It's another thing to say, and I'm going to use federal funding to make you comply to what I think you ought to be doing. That's a whole nother, and so that's where the rub is here.
Yes. And some people might think this. Why is Harvard risking losing $2 billion in federal funding? So I was kind of curious, and I did a quick search, and according to several sources, Harvard University's endowment as of June 30th last year is valued at $53.2 billion. I mean, which is not insignificant. That's a huge amount. So is that maybe why they're risking losing the $2 billion in federal funding?
Well, yeah, they can afford it.
Yes.
That's for sure. They are the richest university in the world, I believe. And $53 billion sounds about right. So yes, they can afford $2 billion. Here's what they can't afford, really, though. And by the way, this is where when I was talking about institutions not being honest. All these institutions, and I got my PhD from Yale, so I remember these conversations when the employees at Yale wanted to have a fairer contract. There was a question of you could use the endowment to pay for some of this. These universities don't like spending this endowment. They regard it as almost untouchable. So you're already touching a nerve when you think about that.
Yes.
However, what Harvard would have a tougher time affording than the $2 billion in foregone federal grants is the threat to revoke, and this is the Department of Homeland Security, to revoke their student exchange visitor program, which allows them to have foreign students at their university. Now, there's two things that are important about that.
Yes.
First of all, foreign students make up a fifth of all of their students.
Yes.
And second of all, a lot of those folks are paying the full rate.
Exactly.
Harvard and Yale and other institutions of that nature have very, very generous financial aid packages. But the foreign students usually are paying almost the full rate or the full rate.
Exactly.
So that's where they get a lot of their money from. So that's going to be one thing that's going to be tough. And the bigger thing is the threat to take away Harvard's tax-exempt status. That would cost them millions and millions of dollars every single year. And those are the two big ticket items that they're worried about.
Yes. So could that be possible? The revocation of the university's tax-exempt status?
Well, the IRS is looking into it right now. Harvard is saying that they will fight that legally and that they have a very strong case. I am not a legal expert in that matter, but based on what I do know, I think they're right about that, because the law is that in order to qualify for tax-exempt status, you have to be supplying certain kinds of educational services of benefit to the community. And I think that they fit that, regardless of DEI or, whatever kind of viewpoint audit you might make of them.
Yes.
So I don't think they're likely to lose that, but that is a really big threat. That's sort of like the nuclear option for a private university, because they own billions of dollars worth of property. None of it is taxable by the city of Boston or the city of Cambridge.
Yes.
In Harvard's case, here where I teach at Syracuse University, none of our property is taxable by the city of Syracuse. And so if it were, the university would be paying millions of dollars in tax fees every
Yes.
year. Instead, what it does is it works out a deal with the city that is essentially to the university's advantage. And I'm sure Harvard has done the same thing. So that is something that is of great concern to them.
Yes. Well, I did mention in the intro that, certain universities, top universities, they have come out in support of Harvard's decision. Do you think that this will make an impact in this kind of standoff right now between Harvard and the Trump administration?
Well, here's where the politics get tricky because these elite universities, partly for the reasons that I mentioned early on, that I think there is a there in the criticism that they have become ideologically homogeneous on the left of center. They do not have a terribly good reputation among the general public right now, particularly among people who do not have college degrees. And so you're not going to see a lot of tears shed for the Harvards and Stanfords and Princetons and Columbias of the world by the country at large.
I see.
They may be concerned about what this means for higher education more generally. Second thing is, Trump is pretty angry at these folks.
Yes.
He blames them, among others, for the fact that, he lost the election in 2020 and for the constant criticism that he gets. So, you'd have to search long and hard for a staunch Trump supporter at Harvard University.
Okay.
So he's got kind of he's already sort of doubled down on that aspect of it. So I don't see, unless it happens through Congress or some other mechanism, I don't see a huge wave of backlash against this in the same way that we saw the backlash against the tariffs, for example, or in the same way that you saw a backlash against some of the things that Trump said about different ethnic groups or LGBTQ community and so on. I don't think there will be the same level of sympathy here because of the way that elite higher education is perceived in the United States right now.
I see. So if we look at the bigger picture right now, Professor, how do you think this will play out? I know it's very difficult to foretell anything, especially, with this current administration with a lot on its plate right now with the tariffs, as you say, with lots of issues, with Trump trying to live up to his campaign promises as well. Do you think that this is going to be important, the standoff between this, elite university versus the administration right now?
Well, it certainly is consequential if the Trump administration, in a sense, wins this. Harvard has the resources to fight it, and they're going to fight it.
Yes.
I can't see them. It would just damage their intellectual and academic reputation too much if they were to fold to this. I do know that other schools are very scared about these kinds of threats.
Yes.
I do know that my university is very scared. And, I know that all the other universities that I've been in touch with are scared about this. So it is a potentially very big issue about freedom of speech and about academic freedom, which is an important part of freedom of speech. Whether or not this rises to the level of some of the other things politically, like the tax cut, the tariffs, the border security.
Sure.
That's a harder thing to say. I would say I think not. It's getting a lot of media attention right now, partly because it is Harvard. If this were say another top university that didn't have the same panache to it,
yes.
The University of Michigan or something, it might not be getting the same sort of hyper attention that it's getting from the media. But it is a big issue.
It is indeed, but that is why we're going to continue to follow this story. But thank you for thoroughly explaining it. Now we have such a better grasp of exactly what's going on behind the scenes as well. So thanks for coming on air with us, and take care, Professor.
My pleasure. And it's a very complicated issue, this one.
It is. Once again, everybody, this was Professor Grant Reeher, and we talked about this particular issue of, Harvard University going up against, the Trump administration. We are going to follow this story because, as the professor just said, it is one of the top elite institutions in education around the world. So people will be listening and watching. We're going to take a short song break, though. How about this one? It's a song request from Souvenir, 진달래꽃 by Maya.
떠나 행복한지 이젠 그대 아닌지 그댈 바라보며 살아온 내가 그녀 뒤에 가렸는지 아픔이 너무 커 숨을 쉴 수가 없어 그대 행복하길 빌어줄게요 내 영혼으로 빌어줄게요
Get your local up-to-date news from Korea and abroad right here on Morning Wave in Busan with Catherine. Stay tuned.
It is time for Vasana.
There you are.
Oh, are you that?
Well, I can make out your face.
Okay, then you don't need the glasses.
It's a lot clearer with these on.
Oh, yes. You can see my features. By the way, the photos that we were, we had posted during that song are from 진리님 of azaleas. 진달래꽃. So beautiful. And I know many of you sent in floral photos as well. So we're going to try to get them up. 윤정님 as well. So many photos. I love when we have photo day when people send in photos.
Okay.
People's photo taking skills are so much better than mine.
Flowery photos today.
Yes. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about
final What in the World.
Our final segment with me on a Friday. I'm moving to another day next week.
But he's coming back.
But I'm coming back. Sorry, 죄송합니다. So the first one is crosswalk conmen.
What?
Crosswalk
conmen.
Crosswalk conmen.
Okay.
And another hint as to what it's about. The Zuck stops here.
Oh, Zuck, like as in Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this story is from your state, California?
Yeah, that's my state.
That's your state. Yeah, very good.
You're like, I think. Yes, you thought correctly.
So if you're walking through California this week and heard a robotic voice telling you that AI is invading your consciousness, you were not hallucinating.
Oh.
You were just crossing the street in Palo Alto.
Ooh.
So some mischievous tech pranksters hacked some crosswalk buttons to play fake audio clips of Mark Zuckerberg. And
in English, we say Zuckerberg. In Korean, they call him Zuckerberg. Yes.
And Elon Musk. Because when you're waiting to cross the road, nothing says safety first like Zuckerberg whispering, "There's nothing you can do to stop it."
That's kind of eerie.
So they had lots of clips and different crosswalks had different messages. I was going to play some of them, but when I played it through, a lot of it is NSFW. It's very funny.
So to explain to our listeners and viewers out there, 그러니까 횡단보도에서 they 해킹을 해가지고 they put in the fake voices.
So usually when you press the crosswalk, they say 잠시만 기다려 주십시오. 잠시만 기다려 주십시오.
Not in Korean though.
Oh, not in Korean. In Korea, when you press the crosswalk button, start again, it says that. In America, it usually says, "Please wait for the cross light. Please wait for the cross light."
That's it. I don't even remember. Yeah, but if
different
you say
ones.
so. Yeah.
Different countries, different things. Yeah. But instead of playing that message, they played Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg saying
saying all these things.
So basically somebody had hacked the system and put those messages on there. So you can search the net to find out what those messages were saying. A lot of it has been deleted and those crosswalks have been reset.
Okay.
So you can't, I'm sure, maybe unless they did it again. But as we know, it's illegal to mess with city infrastructure.
Oh, yeah, that's serious.
And also really weird. So we here at BEFM do not condone this behavior at all.
William says, we were laughing about this crosswalk thing because, he's in that area, near that area, yeah. So definitely laughing about it.
Did he just go down and push the button just to listen?
William, it wasn't you, right? Oh, no. Don't do anything illegal.
Yes.
Next.
But also, just one more thing. In New Zealand, when you push the crosswalk button,
what happens?
That triggers the crosswalk light. So then 10 seconds later, it'll change to red and you can cross. But in Korea, it doesn't do that. It just tells you. And everything in Korea is always on a timer. There is only one crosswalk I know that's in Haebyeon-Sijang. You press it and it changes the light.
Oh, it does?
Yes. So I like that one.
I've tried all the ones I know.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
So I know that one works.
Okay.
The next one. It is spring.
Yes.
And with spring, wedding season.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I'm going to be playing at a few weddings this wedding season.
Oh, really?
I was meant to play at one next weekend, but I was double booked. But anyway, may the matrimony be with you. And I've got a picture for this. Because soon it will be May. And yes.
May the force be with you. Oh, don't tell me. It was a Star Wars kind of themed wedding?
Yes. So 2 wedding chapels in Las Vegas.
Are those lightsabers?
Yes, they are.
I want one.
Anyway.
Yes.
Star Wars themed packages. So
nice.
For $860, you can get hitched by Darth Vader or Princess Leia. So they could be your
the
masters of ceremony.
Really?
Yeah.
They can marry you?
Yeah. So
I want Darth Vader.
You our husband and wife.
I like that voice. I like that one.
You may kiss the bride. Anyway, so with custom music, a limo, which I'm sure is also decorated inside, and vows stronger than Beskar steel. So if your wedding doesn't include till Death Star do us part, are you even trying?
No, Tommy, he just sent in, can you do the line with your Darth Vader voice? He says, I am your father. You remember that line?
Oh, there's a story with that too with me. I was going to call my son Luke.
Oh, really?
So, that one
you
day
could
I
say?
could say, Luke, I am your father.
Oh, that sounds so good with the reverb. Love it. Yes.
But yeah, so I'm glad I didn't call him Luke. So
No, why? You should have named him Luke. Then you could do that like every year.
Isaac doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yes.
But anyways,
And
my only
nice
concern is that, with Han Solo, that famous line, when he says, I love you.
Yes.
He says,
what does he say?
I know.
I know. I don't remember that line. I remember
Instead of saying,
that I am your father.
Instead of saying, and I love you, he says, I know.
But I've been to a couple Las Vegas weddings.
Yes.
Not mine, just to witness.
Yeah.
But they were like both. Elvis was overseeing the wedding. They're so much fun though. Elvis weddings are the best in Vegas.
They have them everywhere in New Zealand. I went to one where there was a Beach Boys themed wedding.
Ah, that's nice.
And I played a Beach Boys song when the bride walked down the aisle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. California Girls and all those other songs. Anyway.
In New Zealand.
So, yes, New Zealand. With all the New Zealand accents over there.
Yes. Let's go to our next story.
Okay, board games break records and hearts. So I was planning to make fun of these people, but basically they were breaking the world record.
For what?
For people playing Monopoly at the same time.
At the same time? How many?
At the same time. 918 people.
Not on one game, but like multiple games, I'm thinking.
Yeah, so sitting at 150 tables. I've got a picture of them sitting in the room, and I was going to make fun of it and all.
Why would you do that?
Because that's what I do.
I love board games. I'm a board game nerd.
So,
why?
So I stopped because they organized it in aid of this little 6-year-old girl who had passed from brain cancer.
Oh, thank God
I stopped there.
Yeah, don't make fun.
So the girl's name was Allegra, and they were going to hold it before she had passed, but then she passed, and so this might have gotten more people to come along.
Yes.
So 918 people. Some people were disqualified because they used the wrong board or wrong something.
I see.
You know how the Guinness Book of Records are
they're very strict.
Very, very strict.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm guessing, actually, when you play board, you said you're a board game fanatic.
Yes.
Have you ever flipped over a board game?
No, that's like such bad etiquette.
Never?
And we see a photo
yes.
of them playing.
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing that, like they in anger or in jest, they kind of flip the board because they want to end the game, like they're losing.
Yeah.
They're being a sore loser. No.
Oh, my father did that when we were young.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Masana's dad.
No, he's passed away, so he's not listening.
Okay. But still, why are you laughing about this?
Oh, you should have come to the funeral. We had a hoot.
You had one of those funerals where there was a lot of like rejoicing and looking back fondly.
Usually, I don't go to you know me. I don't go to a sad wedding. There's usually no sad weddings. Everybody remembers the good times and the ridiculous times.
I see.
Okay, moving on.
We have time for maybe one more?
One more?
Yeah, pick and choose.
Okay, so the next one, Houston.
Houston.
We have a lot of poop.
I was like, with your bathroom humor.
Let's end my season on poop. So NASA are offering $3 million to anyone who can figure out how to recycle human waste in space. Waste in space. But seriously, though, this is a problem that could solve a lot of things on Earth as well. Because things that have been made for space are now being used on Earth as well. So, for example, Velcro, scratch-resistant sunglasses, ear thermometers, memory foam, all of those were invented to combat problems in space.
Sure.
And now we're using them every day on Earth. So this might help us to recycle on about $3 million if you're able to find a solution to recycle human waste in space. Look on their NASA website.
Yes.
And they have application forms on there if you're interested. It's a real thing.
We have a message for you.
Okay.
Hang님's so funny. Yes, Hangnim is so funny. And we're going to end it on that note. So thank you so much for another great season.
Thank you.
And see you next week. Thank you, Vasana.
See you on Thursday.
Yes,
Okay.
on a different day.
Yeah.
Well, I also need to bid adieu to you, the listeners, already. I can't believe this season has been so amazing. So I want to thank you for tuning in, chiming in, giving us constructive criticism. Sometimes, for this past season, we cried together even. We definitely laughed a lot together. And we've been through the ups and downs that life throws us. But I would not have it any other way. So I want to say thank you to our producer, Jo Yunjin. Yay!
Yay!
Writers, Haley. Yay!
Yay!
And Annie. Yay! And of course, I'm your host, Catherine. I'll be back to do it on Monday all over again. For a final song for the last day. Oh my gosh, she did it again. Okay. 이거 읽을 수 있을까요? 사랑하긴 했었나요? 스쳐가는 인연이었나요? 짧지 않는 우리 함께 했던 시간들이 자꾸 내 마음을 가둬두네. By 잔나비. So have a good weekend and join us for the brand new season Monday. Bye, everybody.